Hello, you precious and wonderful human beings. We are going to do, it feels like it's been so long since I've done this. I mean, I guess it's just because of fall break, but it's been a minute. Um, for those of you that I have not seen in person over the past couple days here at school, I hope you had a wonderful fall break. I hope everybody did. I am absolutely thrilled to be seeing some of you in class. So, for second and third blocks, this will be your last virtual lecture, I hope, unless we go back into quarantine somehow. And for first block, it's just business as usual. So, today, we're talking about plate tectonics and more broadly, Earth systems and resources. This is really, really short. I think this first lecture only has about maybe even less than 8 slides. So this will be very brief. I'm also including the A+ College Ready lecture. So if you prefer that style, if you would prefer their information, then you are more than welcome to watch that one instead. I'm getting my handy dandy paperclip to fidget with while we go through this. And off we go. Unit overview, plate tectonics. I don't know why. I've always been obsessed with plate tectonics. I just think they're cool and somewhat easy to understand. And it's just a really interesting thing to discuss. Something interesting, if you look at it, we're starting with a guiding question here. Why do Africa and South America seem to fit together? When you look at a world map as a whole, the shape of South America and the shape of Africa, they look like they would perfectly fit together, right? Well, in the 1960s, Alfred Wegener, we're going to go with that, theorized that they did fit together millions of years ago. So it was in the 60s that someone was first like, I have a theory that this was all together. And that's kind of where plate tectonic theory begins. The idea in plate tectonic theory itself is just the idea that both continental and oceanic crust float on a liquid mantle. And you can kind of see over here on the right-hand side a diagram of what that would look like. You've got both oceanic crust right here, continental crust right here, floating on a liquid mantle. And the plates move around due to convection currents in the mantle itself. Pangea, or as we saw in our History of the World YouTube video, they called it a different name. That was a misunderstanding on my part. I just looked it up. So they called it Rodinia. They discussed Rodinia in the video that we watched, but Rodinia was actually a supercontinent formed about 1.1 billion years ago, while Pangea was only about 275 million years ago. So two different things. So Pangea, 275 million years ago, the continents did fit together. Wild that Antarctica even used to be a rainforest biome. Crazy, crazy, crazy to think about. And you can kind of see how that would be the case when you see how they're all fit together right here. Excuse me. I've got the windows open and allergies. Generally, new crust is formed at ocean ridges, so where that magma is rising to the surface. And you can see a good example of that right here, where it's kind of, you've got these ridges, crinkles right here. Oh my goodness. I'm struggling today. You got these crinkles and ridges right here in the crust, where this rising magma comes up, it cools down, it falls, it heats up, it rises. And because of those currents right there, it's pushing this liquid magma, those are convection currents, pushing this liquid magma up to the top. It gets to the top and it cools down. And eventually it causes these plates to spread out further. So yeah, convection pushes the plates apart and moves them across the Earth's surface. Continental crust is thicker, but it is also less dense. And then oceanic crust is thinner overall, but it is more dense as well. Plate boundaries come in 3 different forms. You've got convergent, divergent, and transform. And so we kind of break that down here, and it makes sense because to diverge, right, means to come apart. To converge means to come together. Con means with. The prefix con means with. They're coming together. And then transform, you've got sliding. So divergent, they're coming apart. It's constructive because more oceanic lithosphere is being created. It creates a ridge or a rift, and there's definitely volcanic activity there. Convergent, they're coming together. It's a process called subduction. It is destructive because it is destroying oceanic lithosphere as they come together. One always slides under the other. It forms a trench, and there is volcanic activity here. Then transform, they're sliding side to side. And it's really a conservative effect. It's not really creating or destroying any of the lithosphere. No major effect on topography, so pretty hard to notice, I suppose. And there is no volcanic activity there. You've also got the Richter scale, which is something that hopefully you guys have heard about before. It's just the scale that indicates how much energy is released during earthquake or seismic activity. So a 9 on the Richter scale is like catastrophically insane, where you can go all the way down to like 0, 1, and 2, where there is movement and it would be detective on a seismograph, but it's not even really enough that humans would be able to feel it. And honestly, that's it for today, guys. We're talking through that. That's going to be all the notes for today. These are smaller sections. Definitely go check out the APES College Ready recording as well, just to make sure you've got all the perspectives on these points that you can get. And that'll be that.